maybe I should start posting like more of what I think of here, like the things that I'm wondering about and like my new hypothesis and stuff. Because there's always like so much things going around in my mind. Like today, like right now my blood sugar was 5.8, and I ate like after training 4 bananas with a lot of water, like to fill up the glycogen stores. And my blood sugar didn't go up like over like 5.8 or 6. Then I ate like a big lunch with like some eggs, like cheese, and like quite a lot of rice, potato and stuff. And like my blood sugar hasn't gone up anything. And I don't feel like that wow brain energy. I'm starting to think also that like maybe if you spike your blood sugar, maybe if like you bring up your insulin levels without spiking your blood sugar in a meal that's balanced with protein too, is then like when you start getting many of the symptoms. Because like when you eat a balanced meal with protein, fat and carbs, the blood sugar goes up, the insulin like is released, and the glucagon is also like released because you also have like some protein in the meal too. So it gets balanced kind of. And also like as the blood sugar goes up and insulin gets released, like also stress hormones can go down and stuff. But like if you like get that insulin release without the rise in blood sugar and without having the protein and stuff present, then it can be quite different, I think. Like especially like if you like get the insulin spike without the blood sugar rising. Same as like when I drink orange juice, I can see really clearly like that maybe like my blood sugar in this like meals after, it won't go up. But it's because the orange juice can trigger like an insulin response when it's digested in the stomach. And then your like insulin is higher to the next meal, and then you don't get a spike because you already have like higher insulin levels. And I also noticed that like if I do something like that, like I eat something before like my dinner and stuff, then the bad thing about it is that the blood sugar won't go up in that meal. It can be good if you think about it. Like for some people I think it's good, like yeah, the blood sugar is so dangerous. But like still like a normal blood sugar spike in a meal is quite healthy. And for example, for my sleep, like I noticed like the biggest difference ever. Let me see. Nice. I noticed like the biggest difference like ever with my sleep if like I get like that healthy blood sugar response at dinner, like the blood sugar goes up and then down. But if I eat something like closer to that like last meal, I usually like don't get any blood sugar, like big blood sugar rise at dinner, because like my insulin levels are already high. And one of my big hypotheses is that like I feel so much like better and calmer when a meal is balanced and the insulin is released when the blood sugar has gone up, like maybe like to 140 to 60, or like to 7.5 to like 8.8 or something. And like the blood sugar goes up in a balanced way with a meal that also has protein and stuff, and then it goes down, and like your body can like send the glucose to where it's supposed to be, like to the muscles and stuff, and like use the insulin also for all the other things that is important too. Same as for the amino acids too. Like insulin can also put like amino acids like out of the bloodstream into the different cells. So it's quite interesting that like I really think that, because for sleep it's 100%, like 100%. I noticed like the biggest difference ever when I get like that healthy blood sugar rise at dinner, and if I have like some kind of meal like fruit or whatever like too close to dinner, sometimes I don't get any spike because like my insulin is already higher. And I noticed like such a big difference like in my sleep, to both be able to fall asleep and like my sleep in general, when I get that healthy like blood sugar rise that goes up and then down, also like lowering the stress hormones. So that's like also because for sleep it's a fact for me, but maybe I should like not just think about it for sleep, because during the day it's maybe the same thing too. Like if I can get that healthy like blood sugar rise in the meals like during the day too, then it can like also maybe help like lower like my stress hormones, like also maybe like make me being able to talk like even clearer because maybe like sometimes I talk like way too fast and too stressed maybe. So it's quite interesting. Like now, like when I had like quite a few bananas before like my lunch, my insulin was already higher, and maybe therefore like I didn't get a spike, but also like I didn't like get that like lowering of the stress hormones too, and like maybe all the things that should happen in a meal. So it's quite interesting if like maybe the snacking between meals can like also affect like your insulin levels and like your insulin responses to meals. And for example, maybe also that especially for dinner, like trying to not eat anything a few hours before dinner, so you can have like lower insulin levels, and so that like when you eat that dinner, that your blood sugar really goes up, even if it sounds strange. So your blood sugar goes up, you can release insulin like naturally, and then it can go down, and like lowering stress hormones and like hiring the tryptophan to large neutral amino acid ratio, and making you like have the perfect night of sleep. But then also like it's really important, like if you're having like maybe a later dinner and stuff, that you can for sure have it, but maybe like you shouldn't go like overboard like crazy with the fat, and maybe with the carbs too. Like you should maybe like keep it like to 100 gram carbs max, because like if you eat like way too many carbs, what usually happens to me is like I get like blood sugar is like spikes like quite a few hours later, because like it takes some time for your body to process like quite like a ton of carbs. So that's interesting too. But there are like so many things that you can like try to improve on in your health, and like trying to balance each meal, and maybe too that letting the body do its job, and maybe like not spiking insulin before meals. Same as if you drink like orange juice before a meal, like then your insulin levels will be higher before the meal, and you won't maybe get that spike. Nice! I don't get a blood sugar spike. Nice! Yeah, sure, but like maybe you still want that like normal rise in blood glucose in a meal, because that also maybe like triggers some things in the body that should happen when like the sugar goes into the blood. Same as like with all the minerals in the meal too. Like maybe you really like want like that insulin release with the meal, for all the minerals to go to the right places, all the vitamins too, and like all the water and everything in the meal to go to the right places. So yeah, like I love to like nerd on things. I will also like show you some videos about like how I nerded in like on my genes and stuff. But it's so interesting like how the body works, and like why like after a certain meal you get stressed, why like do you speak so clearly after another meal, and like everything. And I've been thinking like this way for like many years, and you learn so much, but then like you also test many things, and yeah. But the good thing though is that like my standard that I always try to aim for is that like I have perfect energy, like perfect focus, like feel super energized, and like I have like the crazy like life energy. And if I don't have it, I know that something like needs to be optimized kind of. I've never drank alcohol in my whole life, never drank coffee in my whole life, never drink like, I don't eat anything with caffeine. I don't even eat chocolate, because like I don't want to have caffeine, because I want to like really feel my body and like have like the natural energy. I don't like smoke or snooze or anything. Like I try to like always be on fire mentally, without any use of anything. And if I don't feel that like wow feeling, I know that something can be optimized. Whereas like maybe like most normal people, like if they don't feel like that normal energy, they maybe feel that or think that it's just like the way it is. But everything like happens for a reason, like everything. And it's so fun to optimize it. It takes a lot of time though, but I have a lot of free time, so I can do it. And you can maybe like try to learn from my mistakes, so you don't have to try like everything all the time as I do, because I try so many things all the time, and my mother just keep telling me that I should stop, because like it sometimes messes me up like a bit badly. Even like sleep or whatever, like I try so many things and it goes wrong so many times. But then I also learn like what works. But even like if I know what works, it's still fun to try things, to see what happens kind of, and like to see like how my body reacts to it. Yeah. But everything to optimize self, right? Everything to be your best self in the future, because it's all about like delayed gratification, like giving up a bit now to get more tomorrow. And if I can test like everything on me now, then I know that tomorrow I will probably like know a bit more information about my body and my health, and be able to like make better decisions. So yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't make my mistakes. Bye.